my people. Oh, I need to share this bad boy out to the core. Let's see if I can bring in the homies over here. Let me drop off the Dragon Ball cards after taking that thumbnail, dude. Jesus. Let's go. Let me find the chat over here. Holy shit. I don't even know how to find the chat on this bad boy. Yo, let's go. Yo, I got 7 people rolling up. What's up, homies? Welcome to the stream. I am allegedly figuring this bad boy out. I've never streamed from my phone before. This shit's like crazy weird. Okay, there's the chat. Let's go. Yo, what's up, my boy Majin? Yo. Show us all the wallboards? Oh, sorry, casual. They are gone, bro. Everything is being packed up. I'm getting ready to move, and this is a madhouse, okay? So the whole time we're hanging out, I'm probably going to be chilling, and I'm probably going to be taking care of some shit today while we talk about some stuff. You guys can't hear me, right? Can I get a W in the chat if you guys can actually hear me? Oh, we got it. So what we talking about today, boys? Hit me with it. Hit me with it. What do we talk about today while I'm hanging out, finishing up the last bit of what's going on in my place? Okay, what's the memes? What are we talking about today? I'm gonna move this shit over. Are we talking about the moving process? I don't know if I'm down to talk about the moving process the whole damn time. I've been living way too much of this shit. Okay. The moving process is about as lame as it possibly could be. So I don't know if I'm down to talk moving process, okay? But what I will say is, yo, DC recently has like really been turning its shit around, man. I don't really know what the fuck they're doing, but they're clearly now that Jim Lee's the head of everything, and they're kind of getting all their shit together. I think we're seeing something brewing that's definitely going to be pretty damn lit as time goes on. What do you guys think? Have you guys been keeping up with current day DC comics? Because I feel like it's been absolutely bonkers, man. Like everyone's getting an update. It seems like everybody's getting like the most ridiculous statements. It's just like low key wild, man. Yeah, I am tall as fuck. People think I'm a tiny guy, but I'm not. Oh, don't mind the alfalfa going on here, bro. This haircut's giving me cancer. Hair is adapting. Yo, one of the classic Theromax Corps homies over here says we need a Mortal Kombat DC crossover. They're both owned by the same dudes, so that wouldn't be like mind blowing to see. Warner Brothers has access to both of them. We've kind of already gotten that in the past, but that game clearly I don't even think was finished whenever they were producing it, which feels kind of bad. It kind of sucks to not have them actually finish up their fucking product, to say the least, before they drop it. But then again, that's kind of standard practice for most video game companies nowadays, especially fucking WB of all people. But it would be sick to see what I would like them to do, since they're so worried about like DC characters and Mortal Kombat characters like fighting one another because blood and violence and shit like that. Yo, I would say is actually do a Suicide Squad versus Mortal Kombat game, because no one gives a fuck about the Suicide Squad. Those guys die like every 10 minutes, am I right? And if they just die every 10 minutes, bro, that's like 90% of what Mortal Kombat is. Sign me up. Give me Suicide Squad versus Mortal Kombat, not Suicide Squad versus the Justice League or whatever the fuck that shit was. Because that shit was such a golden opportunity, I feel like. But, goddamn, no one cares about the Suicide Squad. All that time and investment, and they put it into a fucking Suicide Squad game. What kind of stupid shit is that? Like, come on now. Yo, fair warning. Anyone who posts a super chat, obviously this bad boy is going to get read. So you post anything down low, definitely let me know, dude. I will gladly read that shit. I'm sure some moderators will also let me know. Someone shoot Lumos' hairdresser. Yo, let's go. Yo, I got all all the homies in chat today. What's up, everybody? We are live. Thanks for hanging out. Yo, we got some legitimate Theromax Corps members hanging out now. We got Rock in the background. That's what's up. Yo, if you're watching and you haven't liked and subscribed, be sure to do so. That like button's up there. I got 80 motherfuckers in chat, but I got 1 like, okay? Something is wrong there. Something is wrong when there's 8 people here, but only 1 like on the video. Come on now. Yo, let's see. Let's see what else we got repping over here, all right? MK versus the JL, that would be really good scaling for sure, in like a legitimate sense, because even in Mortal Kombat versus DCU, we had that weird thing where like the rage amp was nerfing some people and amping others. It'd be cool to see that for sure. Let's see what else. Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh, Ice Bear Nico, what's up, bro? Welcome to the party. Yo, this viewer on the live shit is like actually pretty wild. I've never actually messed with it before, and it is weird because I can't normally look at your guys' comments and stuff the same way I like normally can. Let me make sure here. Okay, good. No super chats yet. Let's see here. Live chat. Let's go. Pull that shit back up. Show chat. All right. So you want to see the tragedy? Do you guys ready to see the real tragedy? Okay, the real tragedy. Yeah, no, it's not troll. Yo, so this is my rig. The unfortunate state of my rig. I have 3 monitors I have on this bad boy. All of my muting hardware and shit that was on the walls is entirely gone, man. Like my poor chair's just sitting over there by itself. Oh, here's the legendary Arlos, the dog god of the Theromax Corps. He is a monster, okay? You guys don't even want to know. Are you good, dog? Damn right. Damn right. He even knows it. And y'all are mad. You're mad he's that cool of a dog, okay? Okay, let's see if I can flip this back around. Jesus Christ. Hell yeah, I got that Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper's the OG, okay? So to give you an idea how rough things are in the current state of things, yeah, it's pretty rough. The whole place is coming down. Yo, check this out for all my Star Wars fans, man, because I just have like all this legendary shit hanging around my house. Yo, check this. This is one of the original releases of the Star Wars comic franchise that was an adaptation of the movies. This thing is over 40 plus years old. It is sick, okay? And this thing was just chilling until I got it, man. I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, I gotta get this bad boy framed. It's one of my most prized possessions, bro. Look at this shit. I'm sure Q is somewhere just rolling in his grave because it's not a Star Trek comic. We already know that that's true. That man can't handle it if it's not Star Trek. And he's got that weird hate boner going on for good old Star Wars. Yeah, that bad boy's definitely getting packed up. That's going with me. I might be leaving a lot behind, but the cool shit, I am not. But yo, what else is popping up, homies? Smash me with some shit. Any super chats definitely getting read. I might glance over some dumb shit if it's not a super chat. Theromax Corps members always get the first opportunity for me to talk about whatever the fuck they want, okay? Because those guys are the ones sponsoring me, helping me get through this move. So I'm all about that life. Yo, let's see here. Rockin' Alice says, yo, you found one of those? Damn, I forget how good yard sales can be to find stuff like that. Yo, I actually had to, you wouldn't believe it, man. I had a lot of shit I had to do in order to get that. And one of which was actually fight the Sith Lord / Emperor known as Novus Theromax, okay? That guy is super awesome. He's the old dad of mine, and he had some pretty amazing shit sitting up at his place. And of course, he's not as invested into this stuff as I am, so he said, go for it. And God bless, because that was a fucking awesome moment, okay? I'll always take that. It was a definite W. Would I be a fan of the Legion of Doom versus Mortal Kombat? That shit wouldn't be too bad. I think that would be pretty cool, too. I think the thing that sucks is, like, there's good guys and bad guys inside Mortal Kombat, so if you only do a faction with, like, some good guys, it does feel a little out of place, I guess, even against Mortal Kombat. Yo, what's up? Who plays? Welcome to the party. Thanks for hanging out. We're just chilling today, talking about all sorts of stuff. So if you have something sick you want to talk about, let me know. Oh my god, how in the hell do I need to type up a message over here. But apparently that is inhumane. Yo, let's see here. I'll pop on some filters. Which one of these makes me look like the most inhuman monster? There we go. Now we're in business. What the fuck? Okay. Enough with the memes. Yo, I'm not even kidding, boys. This entire situation has been absolutely wild. Getting ready to move and all this fun jazz. For your own safety, don't move more than one state away. Shit's a nightmare, guaranteed. I'm gonna rotate back over here, set you guys down so I can continue on my way. How about it though? Hit me with the topic, guys. Let's keep on rolling. Let's keep the stream popping. Whoa, Bizarro Lumos? Yo, Bizarro Lumos! Yo, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that get clipped by somebody to use against me somewhere down the road and be like, oh my god, this fucking guy uses filters. That shit'll be full on fucking comedy, dude. Yeah, I feel like my experiences on YouTube recently have been like really weird. They're either like crazy healthy or they're like the most toxic shit in the universe, man. I swear to God. Like I've been popping on and off like Jobbers and Goons stream recently, which is like super fun. I had that one weird moment with like GB, but outside of that, it's been like really cool running around talking to like all these content creators. Obviously, like Comic Curator has like a weird thing going on. I'm in his server and like we hang out and talk and stuff. I feel like he's very different in his videos than he is when he's like interacting with me in person. And like whatever. It definitely seems a little weird to say the least. I wanted to make a video with him and I was actually talking to him about it. And he says he's pretty cool with making a video with me. As long as we don't talk Cosmic Armor Superman. So that'll be kind of cool to sit down with him at some point in time and just discuss stuff. Yo, like down low or give me a comment if you think that a video where me and Comic Curator sit down and talk about something would be a banger. Like, dude, I'm telling you, dude, like and subscribe to that shit because I guarantee that will be fucking awesome. Man, I wish I could pull my Discordians in here on my phone because then I could get like the whole crew in here and we could have like this lively conversation. But due to the way of the nature how like the YouTube live system works, unfortunately, we just don't have the ability to do that. It fucking blows. Unless you're like a full-on YouTuber, which there's like a share system. I just don't know if we can. Yo, let's see here. Yo, are there any characters or groups that you wish DC would focus on? So, bias alert. Bias alert. Yo, this is enough. This is enough of a comment to keep me going for a while. Yo, if I would really like to see them bring back the focus on the lanterns. I'm really biased in that department. I cover a lot of lantern-based stuff. So it does feel a little bit sad that like during the New 52, we had like 8,000 different versions of like lantern stories, comics, etc., etc. And nowadays we're like down to one comic sometimes. So it would be dope to see a larger focus roll back into him. Maybe we're at that point where we finally got past the oversaturation of the market, which a lot of people felt like the lanterns were like in the New 52, and people are once again kind of interested in that character and willing to go back and hang out with him and learn a little bit more about him as time goes on, especially with the new Green Lantern Corps shit coming out, because I really feel like there's an opportunity there to pull like a massive W in my eyes. So yeah, I would really like to see them focus on the lanterns more. The Justice League has effectively been eliminated entirely, so it does suck to see there be no Justice League because the Junior Justice League, aka like the fucking Teen Titans, are kind of like running the picture right now. And I don't care what anybody says. The Teen Titans suck in comparison to the Justice League. They're all the characters who are like the lame versions of the Justice Leaguers. So I'm not as invested in the fucking Teen Titans. These guys look at Trigon as their main op. Okay, like woo. I would like to see something a little bit more relevant pop up in terms of like teams inside DC. And I get it, they're trying to move away from big stories and big events and shit, but it's the Justice League. You have to do big events to do the Justice League, bro. They have like 8,000 fucking villains and shit that could just happen on Earth. They all need to be present for. So I don't know. Let's see. Ooh. See, comic curator and Theromax getting along could work. I will work with anybody, okay? I am a very reasonable person whenever it comes, and anybody inside my server will tell you the same thing. Even if we disagree, I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it. Half of my server is just me arguing with other people about my positions and my thoughts on a variety of different things, but most specifically like DC, right? I'm just the guy who likes media and I talk about shit, okay? If you're down for that, then like fucking sweet. If you want to be disrespectful or whatever, then like you can do you over there. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Let's see. Favorite villain team inside actually casual. Oh, hey, Casual Lantern, another Theromax Corps member. What's up, bro? Coming in, dropping that bad boy with the fear emblem. Hell yeah. He says he hopes that me and a comic curator establish some kind of common ground. I think he and I actually have a lot of common ground. I covered, actually, I didn't cover it, but I did watch his entire stream of, which was like essentially 3.5 hours of him just like shitting on my content. Like, there was a few moments where he would be like, well, that's true, or I agree with that exact same thing. So it's not like there's nothing we agree on. It's just exclusively the topic of Cass, and I guess I couldn't say that. His interpretation of cosmology is dramatically different than mine. And both of us think we're using reason to come to our conclusions. I can respect the fact that he genuinely believes in what he believes, but I still think what he believes is damaging to the community, like either way. And I'm not afraid to say that to him or even say it here or anything. That's considered milk toast compared to the shit he said in that stream about me. So if I'm saying that and he gets salty about it, then like the pot's calling the kettle fucking black, man. I don't know what you want from me. Let's see. Favorite villain team in DC. Yo, the Legion of Doom is pretty consistently OG. I feel like in terms of just raw villainy, they're kind of the guys who have it on lock. I don't really like using like lanterns for that because I feel like a lot of what they do is a lot of the time less villainous and more reasonable. Unfortunately. Let's see here. What do I think of the Green Lantern Night Terror? Coming up from my boy Rockin' Alice. Let's go. Okay, so my boy Rockin' Alice wants to know what I thought of it. For those who don't know, I should honestly be covering these live on my fucking channel because it's Green Lantern, right? Like that's my thing. That's what I should be doing. But for those who don't know, Hal basically got reset back to zero. He got kicked out of the green, or it was unclear whether he got kicked out or he got banned from the place in general. But either way, he basically has no Green Lantern ring, got banished to Earth, and he's just living a normal human life. In one day, he basically gets all the promotions he could ever need. Going from like a guy who's driving a taxi car to the guy who's like piloting planes in the business. Like it's one of the funniest things ever. And as a result of that, the first group he's actually flying in this private plane is Carol Ferris and their fiance. And so obviously, like Hal Jordan in 10 seconds, immediately starts just beating, like doing everything he can to fuck with this guy, right? So he jerks the airplane, throws fucking wine all over him, and like Carol's super, like Carol knows he's fucking around, okay? Like Carol knows he's being a piece of shit, but Hal doesn't give a fuck. The second he goes in the bathroom to clean himself off, Hal just like locks him in the bathroom, and that's when the Night Terrors event starts. So there's this nightmare shit that flies out of anywhere and everything, and Hal Jordan gets hit by it, and he begins to see his worst nightmares. And obviously, Hal, being a Green Lantern, he's seen some pretty dark shit before. And one of the things he sees is all sorts of people dying and stuff. He winds up seeing Parallax roll up, and then Parallax, after he fights him for a short period, becomes Parallax Hal Jordan. And he winds up beating the shit out of that nightmare, chasing him away. The guy's terrified, okay? The nightmare itself is terrified of fucking Hal Jordan after Hal's like, bro, you're fucking with the wrong guy. If you think you can mess with me, when my whole thing is willpower, and willpower is like the opposite of fear. Like you genuinely have no idea who you fucking with. So he beats the shit out of him and scares him away. And by doing so, he breaks this nightmare dimension that he's in and actually comes out victorious. So I think it's a pretty banger story so far. I think the more interesting storyline, unironically, is actually in the backup stories to it, where Sinestro is like on this weird journey of enlightenment and change and stuff. And in this last comic, as he gets hit with the nightmare shit, he's been dealing with coping with all of his worst nightmares coming to reality. Because after Dark Crisis, he gets stranded on Earth without a ring. And he's just been like hanging out with the humans this whole time as a result. And in the end, he basically says, I have no fear anymore. There's nothing left for me to be afraid of. Implying that, like, yo, Sinestro is just gonna go, like, full on villain. Like, full on hardcore, like, pre crisis and post crisis Sinestro up to, like, the Jeff Johns run. Because, like, the face he gives is just like, I'm just going to go back to being an evil, maniacal son of a bitch, bro. So, like, that shit is going to be low-key wild to see, in my opinion. It kind of sucks to lose the character development of Sinestro leading up to this point. But to see, like, Sinestro come back with the same ruthlessness he had in Sinestro Corps War, it will be really, really, really interesting to see, if you ask me. So yeah, I would give it right now, like the Night Terrors GL shit, probably a 7 or 8 out of 10. I think it's done really well. The second comic, I feel like they amped shit up, man. Hal Jordan went from kind of boring and kind of funny without very little action to like being 10 out of 10 gas, bro. Like that second comic and where he's like throwing hands with that nightmare shit was awesome to see. There's a scene where he takes he scares away this fucking nightmare creature, and then he creates a construct that you would see at like a fair, right? Where you have a hammer and you're supposed to hit a little mallet, hit your mallet against the like this little weighted counterweight, and it jumps up in the air, and how far it goes is it identifies how strong you are. So Hal smashes that shit. The construct piece flies straight off the top, and it says "strongest guy in the world." And it flies straight off and hits the guy who's running away from him, dude. It's one of the most funniest shit ever. And Hal says, "Eat your heart out, Clark." So, damn, I guess Hal Jordan's stronger than Superman, and clearly confirmed inside that comic. That shit was gas, though. I wish, I hope that same kind of energy keeps fucking coming for the rest of the series, dude. Because if it does, I'll look at that series. It's going to be fucking awesome. But good question from Rockin' Alice. I could monologue on that for fucking ever, but I'm gonna leave it there. Let's see what else we got repping over here. Yo, if I could make changes to DC cosmology, what would I do? I think that's a very good question, Ice Vernico. Hold on, was that Ice Vernico? Yeah. That's a really good question in all reality. If I could make changes to DC cosmology, I don't know if I really would. But what I would tell you, let's say I had a comic to rectify DC cosmology. Here's what I would do. I would just be incredibly fucking specific. The worst part about DC cosmology is you've got to kind of like... I've used this analogy a lot for the people who are inside my Discord. It's kind of like a constellation, okay? A lot of DC cosmology is identifying the dots that exist that make up a constellation, but you have to connect those dots. And so it's very frustrating to have to connect all those dots because some people will say, well, there's no evidence of the line. You are drawing the line. And that's fair. I can understand that to a certain extent. But if you utilize that rule in reference for everything, you're basically going to come to zero conclusions. You're going to have like a versus battle wiki mindset where it's like, well, even though Necron and it stated the Guardians theorized he was connected to something larger, and in the comic they literally go into the Great Darkness, like that line is clearly there. I guess can't say clearly. anyone with a brain can put those two things together, but it's not 100% on the page. Yo, Necron is connected to the Great Darkness 100%. Even though we see that connection in the panel, you kind of have to just roll with it. It would be nice to set up your cosmology or just have like a book that has statements of like, hey, here's the multiverse. The overvoid is past that. Past the overvoid, you have the Great Darkness. The source or the presence, I guess nowadays with the that use the old guidebook statement, the presence, see once again, this is us connecting the dots, me having issues even getting here. The presence, strongest guy in verse, created everything including the overvoid. Just have one really solid origin story and make it super specific. But DC doesn't like doing those things because the more you nail them down to confining themselves to something, the more frustrated they get and the less they want to be involved or the less they want to enjoy exactly what's going on here. Yo, real quick, can I have one of the pros over here type in a comment something along the lines of, if you want your question to be answered, any super chat will immediately be answered. Okay, I need to pin that, but I can't comment anything on here apparently, which is like super fucking stupid. Yo, looks like we got a few people hanging out. What's up, all my new people? Let's see back here. What else we got? But yeah, mainly I would just be really specific whenever it comes to DC cosmology versus the goons who wouldn't. All right, Sinestro Corps War versus the Galactic Empire from Star Wars. What's up, by the way? What's up, DC Temple? Thanks for hanging out. Sinestro Corps would fucking destroy all of Star Wars. They would conquer everything pretty casually. The highest level Sith Lords are pretty fucking dangerous, and I have no doubts they'd be able to contend with lower level Lanterns. But any of the Black Circle would just fucking annihilate anyone inside anyone inside Star Wars. Unfortunately, if they ever met, would Sinestro and Magneto be allies? No. Magneto would despise Sinestro because he would look at him as an ultra totalitarian dictator, much like the Nazis were. And Sinestro would see him as somebody who could use one of his rings, but isn't willing to, and would be somebody who would want to fight him. So I doubt that would be the case, if I'm being real. Let's see here. What else we repping? Recent Hal Jordan versus greater than Parallax Hal Jordan. It really depends on your opinions of whether you think that Hal Jordan in the current day is on the same level as the Gauntlet Hal Jordan that fought a time displaced Parallax Hal Jordan from Convergence. I could see arguments for it either way. It would also depend if you think that time displaced Parallax Hal Jordan had already enacted the events of 0 Hour during 0 Hour, because that version is vastly superior compared to like the normal Parallax Hal Jordan. So yeah, there's a lot of questions in there. As a Hal Jordan fan, I would like to think so, but as a Parallax fan, and from more of like a truth kind of thing, a 0 Hour Parallax Hal Jordan, I think, should beat the dog shit out of him personally. But it just depends on how these things are written, and if we get a more solid instance of that down the way, I think we'll see. All right, let's see what else we got here. Casual out here saying he's buffing Vertigo. Let's go, Casual Lantern. So, like, one of the things that people, I think, focus on way too much whenever it comes to cosmology is the fact that they think things have to be buffed, okay? I don't think that things have to be buffed. I'm just here to tell you what they are, okay? Now, if you want to buff them, if your goal is to buff them, like, okay, you do you. I'm more interested in finding out what is versus what could be, and if you want to speculate past that, like, that's cool. If they want to write it further, like, go for it. But the problem is in order to buff Vertigo anymore, you basically just have to buff DC in general because it's the same verse. Does everything from Vertigo 100% tie into like the shit inside DC, I'm not going to tell you absolutely 100%, but 99% of it does. So just buff DC if that's the case, rather than exclusively Vertigo. And Vertigo outscale Presence, lol. Most of the Presence is showings in Vertigo, so that's kind of a weird thing to consider. And the most powerful characters in the Vertigo shit all respond to the Presence, if memory serves right. So I don't know what's going on there. Let's see. Imagine Sinestro being like Sidious in Star Wars and the Jedi Temple or whatever. I don't think Sinestro would have any interest in the Force or anything along those lines. Let's see here. Yo, Todd Howard, what's up, bro? He's got a $4.99 request coming in. He says, yo, sup, Lumos? Wanted to know if you're familiar with Doom Patrol DP adjacent scaling. If so, what's your thoughts on Candlemaker scaling? So Doom Patrol in general has some like actually insane shit at like random times. And from my memory, they mess with a little bit of stuff inside Limbo. They do a lot of stuff in like the God Sphere and stuff. Candlemaker exclusively, I probably have to do some more research, but he was seen as pretty OG. So yeah, I would consider him probably somewhere in the God Sphere if memory serves right. If I'm thinking of the right guy, I'll admit I'm not the most experienced whenever it comes to like Doom Patrol or like Candlemaker exclusive scaling off the top of my head, because I read a bunch of that shit like a minute ago. But I didn't take notes or scans or anything, so I'm sorry I can't give you a better answer. Todd, if you ask one more time for another question, I would gladly answer another question because I don't feel like I did you good enough for your $4.99, man. So ask another time, ask another question, and I'll see if I can do you one better. Hey, I got my boy JobberGodot in the chat. What's up, homies? Yo, I got 11 of you motherfuckers in here with 4 likes, with 7 likes actually. So make sure you're liking this bad boy too. There's no reason more people should be in here than likes given. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But Jobber says Lumos found himself at his core. Everyone was mumbling things to each other. Lumos questioned casual on it. All he could say was source wall emanation theory. Oh no, not for DC Night Terrors. Would that be okay? Here's the question, boys. Since the Jobber brought this up, for DC Night Terrors, what would be the Theromax Corps, or even my specific worst Night Terror? Okay, if I was stuck in the Nightmare dimension, what would it look like? Comment down low, bro. I'm super interested to hear what you guys think on this. It's gonna be so funny to see what you fucking guys come up with on this shit, dude. I swear to God. You guys are gonna come up with the most dipshit fucking nightmares I've ever seen. I'm calling it now. Okay, Todd Howard's coming back. During the Morrison run, Candlemaker was able to attack the heart of the world, destroying the idea of dreams for all mankind. I agree with that. That's why I was saying like some God Sphere level stuff, because the dreaming and concepts like that, outside of the actual character who like functions like in the Vertigo franchise versus the current iteration, who is vastly more powerful. I think that would all be considered mostly relegated to like the God Sphere stuff. If you look at the map of the multiverse, you have the dreaming and the nightmare on there. So that would all fall in line pretty goddamn close, in my opinion. Or at least somewhere in the same ranges. Yo, Starfield development going on. Let's go. Majin, what a homie. Yo, hello from Germany. What's up, Jason Todd Edits? I got a few homies from Germany. That's sick. Yo, I got Fef in the chat over here. Dropping $2. Let's go. He says, your nightmare would be Sinestro jobbing to Jason. Yo, so for all you guys who don't know, there's some Lumos lore here, okay? So Fef in chat over here is like the absolute biggest like Jason fan you've ever seen in your whole life, all right? And so anytime he brings up Jason, it's like a whole fucking meme. I've got, I think, an entire music video dedicated to that guy at one point in time because it's so fucking crazy, man. That shit was fucking wild. Yo, I'm going to stash this real quick, and I'm going to check out the nightmares you guys are typing up because some of these are fucking funny as hell, okay? Yo, you guys are killing me with these. This is fucking wild, man. I'm actually curious to see if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure if like the live stream is plugged into my my headset or not. So I don't know if you guys will actually hear me as I come all the way downstairs. You know, W's in chat if you guys can like actually fucking hear me down here, because I'm a little ways away from the old cell phone. Yo, let's see. Let's see if the W's popped up. Okay. Oh, I do get a W. Okay, so it is hanging out. That's what's up. Okay. Yo, Parallax is coming. Parallax is coming. Let's go. JobberGodot, where is Parallax? How video? That's a good question. That's a good question, Jobber. I think we got that cooking in the background somewhere. Adam Chevy says fighting veteran can't stop with the Jason shit. Okay, Lumos absorbs Parallax, JobberGodot and Majin give his Rheonyx blood been up a night there. Amen. No, we got Don in chat. Yo, what's up, Coffee Shop Comics? Yo, he says Hal Jordan's solo run being canceled. That's not a nightmare. That's reality, bro. That's reality for Hal Jordan nowadays. I swear to God. That's a true story. Uh-oh, Rockin' Alice hits me. Rockin' Alice is hitting me over here. When Lumos admits Guy is the greatest Green Lantern and a comic comes out that shows Sinestro getting beat by Kite Man and Condiment King. Amen. Amen. That shit sounds like dark multiverse shit, alright? Only in the dark multiverse could that kind of shit happen. Not even in dreams, okay? Only in the dark multiverse. Let's see. Jason versus possibility when, says Jobber. Let's go! Oh, man. Yeah, who do I think could win? Prime with all the lantern rings and Parallax versus Darkseid with the anti-life equation and Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones. There's like 8 layers of shit I would have to unravel there exactly, if I'm being real. The worst part is I think Prime would probably just rip Darkseid into pieces. Most likely in base. He'd probably just rip his fucking arms and legs off, bro, and there would be nothing Darkseid could do about it. I want you to think back for a minute. Darkseid's the guy who talks all this shit, okay? Name one time he ever talked shit to Prime or even encountered him or wanted to fight him. He needs to get past base fucking Superman first, okay? Because Prime will beat the dog shit out of base Superman. Like, that's just how it goes. If you saw his fight with fucking TDK, you know he's gonna beat the dog shit out of Superman and Darkseid, even if they have amps. That's just how it be, boys. Hal Jordan accidentally joins the Speed Force and enjoys it more than the emotional spectrum. I mean, they almost kind of did that a while back, if I'm being real, with the whole Hal Jordan can create Speed Force singularity. So who knows, Wally? They might amp that down the way. Let's see here. Jobber's Nightmare be playing Smite with him. You know, more Lumos lore that happened, and I still hear the legends of exactly what the fuck was going on in that call, but I heard it was wild, okay? I heard Jobber jobbed his ass off into oblivion, and Fef actually carried him the whole game, blindfolded, and his younger brother was playing, like, with the mouse. He had the keyboard, so it was actually kind of impressive, if I'm not gonna lie. Like, it sounds like Jobber was just jobbing, man. He's just trying to live up to that name. Even modern day True Form Darkseid, yeah, I think he would rip him into pieces, and kind of, if you take, like, so I had a conversation with GB a while back, and we had, like, a very big disagreement on shit that was happening inside, like, where the Great Darkness was and how powerful characters were utilizing the effects of Earth Zero, which is like a fragment of the Great Darkness that Darkseid had basically gained power over, and he was utilizing the hacks of. Even that version, like, that's powerful for sure, but like President Superman was capable of like tearing up the chains and shit that he had. He wasn't capable of fighting Darkseid, but those hacks I don't think were like that crazy insane. Were they important for his manipulations of the multiverse? Well, of course, but I don't think anything demonstrated there would be superior to his fight with TDK. The fact that he hit him and actually damaged his multiverse by striking him the way he did is like low-key insane, if you ask me. But that's just my personal opinion there. Good old coffee shop comics. Thanks for hanging out, bro. We got the whole crew assembled today. Yo, Kashio Senojutsu, the Theromax Corps, bro. Everybody's here. I swear to God. Yo, my nightmare is Parallax losing to Booster Gold. Yo, I do need to make a short. Booster Gold's got some funny shit to do with Sinestro. I need to make a short on it because the entire reason the Sinestro Corps exists, unironically, is because of Booster Gold. You can fucking blame Booster Gold for the millions of people who died to the Sinestro Corps. I'm not even kidding, dude. That shit is whack. I wouldn't say Modern Darkseid is ass. He's just not Superboy Prime. Yo. Who do you think Green Lantern's lamest villain is? Yo, I think that depends at what point in time. There was a lot of like full-on fucking dumb as fuck villains who were just garbage for a lot of history, essentially. Like, believe it or not, Black Hand, arguably one of the best villains of all time whenever it comes to like the Lantern verse in general, actually was arguably the worst villain Hal Jordan ever had. He was a guy with basically like this little cigarette that could absorb Hal Jordan's power. Man, I need to find somewhere to put this shit. Yeah, he was basically a guy with like a cigarette that could absorb like Lantern powers. And he was like an ongoing villain to Hal Jordan for like 30 years or something like that. Just as that guy. It wasn't until like post the 2005 run that like Black Hand actually got cool and got like Lantern hacks and stuff. So take that as you will. I'm sure there's like 8,000 others, like the Puppeteer and like all sorts of really fucking lame ones that Hal Jordan's had. But I'll admit, I don't really care a lot about like Hal Jordan's really, really, really old content in terms of like villains and shit. And I'll say that about most DC characters because in that era, most of them just kind of suck. And like, it's true. Like, Krona being like one of the only exceptions. Because I fucking love me some Krona, dude. That shit is gas. And that's mainly because he was such a cool character, especially for like the cosmology of the time or the era. What else we got? Yo, any more super chats? Hit me down low, boys. Guaranteed answers, man, from the big man himself. Batmite and Mixie solos, all Lantern Corps combined. DC Temple, that is a curious statement because Kyle Rayner would delete good old Mixie using his hacks of controlling the source as a White Lantern. Pretty casually in my eyes. Mixie cannot go through the source wall. Kyle can go through the source wall and use the source to delete people from there. So if you include that version of Kyle, even Mixie and Batmite get auto-negged, unfortunately. Sad but true, boys. It just is what it is. Rockin' Alice is that Booster Gold short needs to be made. Yeah, facts. If I get sponsored for shit for that shit, I'll gladly do it. Parallax or Pennywise True Form. Q tells me some real wild shit about shit going on with Pennywise. I'll admit, I'm not the most well-versed on Pennywise or like the Dark Towerverse. I've heard extremes on both ends whenever it comes to the scaling for Dark Tower shit. It's either like it's the strongest verse ever or it's like absolute dog shit. And I don't know who to trust anymore on that shit. I'll just refer y'all to Q because I really just don't give a fuck about a lot of verses. And I think that that's something that it's an unfortunate side of being in the community. But like I feel that there's some sort of weird focus on like you being a versus battle guy whenever you're just trying to like cover content. And the versus battles are cool and all. I just don't really give a fuck about a lot of like cross-verse shit. Because like cross-verse content requires such a vast amount of knowledge and research in order to give an accurate assessment on. Because like I've watched a fuck ton and read a fuck ton of DC, okay? I'm a pretty fucking knowledgeable guy whenever it comes to DC. I'm still not finished with DC, right? My scaling for DC is ever evolving because not only does more content come out, but bro, there's like 80, almost 90 years of content coming out for DC. Like, that's a lot of shit to read, bro. And it's not like they're releasing one fucking series a year or anything. There's like an entire multitude of different characters who have like even 2 or 3 runs going on at the same time for like 40 years in a row. This shit is actually low-key pretty wild. Also, check it out. Yo, I got the bust of Hogwarts. Yo, check it. That's a real life bust of Hogwarts. Don't tell no one. I'm not a wizard though, Harry. Let's see what else y'all popping off. Let's see what else y'all popping off a list about, huh? All the homies in chat. Yeah, Rock Analysis, what about Kilgore? Fuck Kilgore, he's garbage. Oh, JobberGodot asked it, okay? JobberGodot asked it. You know, he said he was done with his GER arc, but it's not over. Clearly, it's not over. He's still bringing him up over here. So he asked me, what are my thoughts on GER versus Hal Jordan? Because, lol, he reverts will to 0. And in case you guys ever wonder, these are what you call, to give you guys a little bit more Lumos lore, these are what you call hear me out hands, okay? If somebody ever gives you the hear me out hands, you have to hear them out, all right? So hear me out totally works on, it reverts his will to 0. Works on everyone, no limits fallacy. But no, unfortunately, the scaling that GER has, especially if you believe the goon in chat over here, JobberGodot, is, it's a kind of unfortunate, I ain't gonna lie. He just has no way to kind of deal with anything Hal Jordan has. Hal Jordan will casually flex off pretty much everything that GER can do. He'll be speed blitzed as well because as fast as Jorno is, he would basically be standing still to Hal Jordan and wouldn't be able to even perceive his movements. Very similar to how his ass got blitzed by not Jorno. What the fuck was his name? Diavolo, pretty casually. So yeah, that one's gonna be a complete ass kicking. I need to make that video. My problem is though, I'm so focused on like content that I like less cross-verse versus battles and more so just like scaling out characters and shit. But I do owe Jobber that Green Lantern Kyle Rayner scaling, so we can do that Simone matchup, and so I have better scaling for my White Lantern Kyle Rayner shit down the way. I'll get to that, Jobber. Don't you worry. It'll get there. Slowly but surely, it'll get there. And in case y'all wondering, I'm mainly just reading off all the homies that I know personally, especially on my Discord or fellow YouTubers. So if you guys want your comments read, do not forget, of course, give me that super chat down low, and I promise I'll hit you up in no time, okay? Yo, is that a dog? Hell yeah, I got 2 golden retrievers, Casual Lantern. They are fucking lit. The greatest dogs ever. Arlo and Urza. Yo, Dr. Polaris was pretty lit. Crazy how the White Lanterns don't exist anymore. No, he just said all the cores, so I assumed that meant like all of them. And if they're not there now, I guess I assumed it would include them. But wow, why don't you put on your glasses a little tighter over there? GR versus Hal Jordan featured JobberGodot win. Agreed. I do need to do that with him. It'd be really cool to have him give the alternative perspective. Sinestro Corps versus Nova Corps when I actually talked about doing something like that with Jobbers and Goons a while back because I don't have shit for scaling whenever it comes to Nova Corps. Basically, it would just come down to that fucking Sinestro and Nova. From my understanding, Sinestro beat the dog shit out of Nova, but I don't know. Maybe he could make a really convincing argument, and I'm open to that 100%. Just because I don't read a verse doesn't mean I won't take somebody's opinion I value, like on the verse for sure. Because then if the scaling is garbage, I'm not held accountable for it on their end, right? Like I can just tell you this guy says they were here, and that's kind of the conclusions we came to. And check out this starfish, bro. Starfish is 10 out of 10 lit. Like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? I got this shit when I was like negative 5 billion years old. Let me toss this bad boy up. What else is popping, boys? What else is the means? Y'all don't get me on stream often. Now's your chance, okay? Now's your chance to get me on record to say something. You could say anything. Anything, okay? I guess, yeah, you could say anything, but if you want that action to happen, super chats, please. God damn, I forgot this whole damn shelf is in here. There's the reason why I'm trying to collect these super chats. Every little bit helps me move, man, and I'll admit things are tough right now. Shit's going pretty wild. Let's see, where in the hell is... I don't know if I want something that large. Fuck! I think that's not cool. But yeah, dude, it's been a wild-ass time prepping this move. It has been crazy. Oh, did we get another one? Let's go. Yo, do you think Michael deserves his own comic? I think that one of the worst tragedies about like Michael is that Michael doesn't have his own series because it's literally self-titled fucking Lucifer, right? I think he just kind of like doesn't really do a lot of shit. In comparison to the shit that Lucifer does, all of his shit is just kind of like background shit to like what Lucifer is doing. It sucks to see Lucy get all the time in the spotlight, and then like Michael just kind of like gets shafted. Like, of course he's powerful, of course he's strong, of course he's got a lot going on. It's just like, oof. Why aren't we getting like better shit? I know Michael defeated Spectre in the 1992 run. There's no question in my mind Michael will beat the dog shit out of 99% of people that are inside the multiverse. That's not even a question, man. The real question to me is like, I don't care that he beats up people in the multiverse. Lucy would dick on anybody in the multiverse too. It would be better if I could see him out swinging hands with like the characters that Lucy does in a viable way, especially from the perspective of him being the main character. But the problem with Michael is he's kind of like a fucking bot, so he doesn't really. It's harder to write him in a unique way. He's got much more of a stagnant or a static character in comparison to Lucifer, who's open to change and his morals moving around a little bit and appreciating different things. But thank you for your comment, man. That was really good question. Speaking of which, we're gonna roll up next to Probably Sane over here, and Probably Sane says, "Yo, to help with my move, thank you for the $5, bro. That will help me indeed. Anything I can get to move to this new place. I'll admit it's getting a little bit rough in terms of this new place. I'm gonna have to do all sorts of shit to help pull it together. And of course, this stuff also helps promote pretty much any of my content creation too. Because if I'm gonna be stepping away from fixing up this new house and moving and shit like that, especially whenever it comes to the amount of time I have right now, if I'm going to be doing those things, I gotta have some money to help respect it. So, I mean, that's essentially where we're at. Wally bitches in the comments. Oh my god, disrespect on Michael's fucking hard. Michael fucking sucks as a character. Okay, Wally? There, you happy? I could say it more if you want me to, but your bitching in the comments ain't gonna make things any better, alright? Michael needs more time to shine, and I haven't even fucking finished the goddamn series, okay? He just sucks. He needs more time. He needs something more, unfortunately. I'll admit, I just genuinely don't fucking like bot characters. Bot characters are fucking lame. Okay, let's see what else here. Let's see. Bill Cipher greater than Alien X. Probably, I don't know. I do love that franchise though. Bill Cipher's a fucking god. Ooh, probably saying Michael stuff's in the background. What about the other Archangels? It's a little bit, especially Lucy, like clearly in the forefront of everything else. Michael is third most OP in DC. I don't know if I could go that far. Definitely pretty OP. The new shit is like really interesting. I'd be curious to see exactly how like the Archangels and shit like will fold into the newer content where we have like Agents of the Source hands. I'm so curious to see how like all those things kind of stack up against one another as time goes on. I know that like feat wise, the shit that's been established for a lot of the characters inside the Vertigo shit, but I would be really curious to kind of see exactly how that all plays out as we meme out. It's definitely possible he's up there for sure. That doesn't mean his character is ass though. Let's see. Oh god, we have a war going on down low in this chat. Holy shit, boys. Holy shit. These people about to eat each other alive on the Michael conversation. Yo, I call Michael a bot and the fucking war starts down in the chat section. Jesus Christ. Yo, I'm about to hit you guys with the ultimate rant, okay? Here's the low-key truth, okay? Here's the low-key truth. A lot of Vertigo is boring as hell, okay? That shit is really fun from like a philosophical perspective. And if that's what you're after, 10 out of 10. But that shit is like fucking boring as hell. All right. I would read 99% of other DC comics before like the Vertigo shit because it is like genuinely lame to have to sit down and read most of that. I want like a fun experience of like characters fighting back and forth, like superhero wise and stuff. And the shit for Vertigo, just 9 times out of 10, just does not do it for me. They're what I call slow burn comics. And slow burn comics have a place for sure. I'm not here to hate on all slow burn comics. Slow burn comics just aren't for me, where you've got to take 8,000 fucking issues to kind of establish your character and a larger plot. I feel like you can do those things and do them in an exciting way. That's why I like about like the Green Lantern, like Jeff Johns' Green Lantern stuff, because I feel like they do that. They have a large story they're telling over a massive period of time, and it's done very effectively. But it's still exciting throughout the entire franchise. All the characters are really unique and really cool. Like it's just fucking god tier. If I'm having problems continuing the stories that I'm reading in whatever franchise it is, like that's an L for the franchise, man. Like I don't like I read this stuff for the fun of it and I scale it out like afterwards for the memes. Because people basically like people won't respect how powerful like a certain character is or whatever. That's like the secondary thing to me because I'm much more focused on shit that I enjoy first. I scale shit out that I enjoy and want to scale versus like just scaling for the sake of scaling. That shit is fucking dumb. Oh, wait. Let's see. I got 2 super chats over here. We have Wally bitching in the comments. Oh my god, it's still happening. Shitting on Vertigo, immediate Wally salts. Yo, Fighting Fafnir says, just teleport your stuff, stop jobbing. Thanks, bro, for helping him to move. Super sick. Probably Saint says, who's my favorite magical character in DC? My favorite magical character is probably, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, okay? A lot of hate. I'm actually going to say the Spectre. The Spectre has some really goated shit. I really like his character. He gets misused a lot, to be fair. And I'll admit, the Spectre is one of the few comics that I was talking about that does that slow burn shit really effectively. Most notably, I would say in the 92 Corrigan run. I forced myself to get through that, and I'll admit, the shit now was just really, really interesting. I really enjoyed that run. Definitely recommend it. So yeah, I would say Spectre pretty casually. I mean, to be fair, probably saying I don't traditionally like slow burns, but there's always exceptions to the rule, right? Like I don't normally like country music, but I fucking love Johnny Cash. Does that make that an ultimate contradiction? No. Just to say, in general, I don't. Right? There's always going to be OGs within the faction. And when it comes to magical characters in general, most of them suck ass writing wise anyway. Like, who do I go with? Raven, Zatanna? Like, most of the magical community inside DC sucks, like, in general. In terms of character writing, I don't like most of their character writing. Are they powerful? Yeah, but I don't read character shit for, like, scaling. Like, I don't know, man. That's weird. Let's see. I also missed out on some other memes here. I've been rolling. I've been ranting for a while. Am I into TMMNT? Hell yeah! And it's definitely all about my boy Leo. In case you're wondering, Majin, he's what's up. Which ship could have the best story? Batman, Black Cat, Wonder Woman, Captain America, Hal Jordan, Carol Danvers, Nightwing, Elektra. Yeah, I think Hal Jordan, Carol Danvers probably. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think Batman, Black Cat makes sense. Wonder Woman, Captain America. I do not think. I don't see a lot going on there personally. I think there'd be a big difference in their ideals. But Hal Jordan, Carol Danvers, both doing space shit. Yeah, I could see that. 10 out of 10. And I've tried to read Hellblazer and Sandman before, both of which were boring as fuck. So just so we're on the same page. Let's see here. Where are we at? Still going. Scarab's greater than Lantern Rings in terms of power, since Jaime Riedel and Black Beetle bodied multiple OP lanterns before. They never once bodied relevant lanterns before. They bodied like no names, if memory serves right. Like, the best thing I could possibly give Jaime Reyes is one time he thought he destroyed a construct of Larfleeze, but Larfleeze just summoned him back to himself. So even if you consider him not summoning it away from Jaime Reyes, he just kind of like didn't do anything relevant either way. He either destroyed a construct that didn't matter, or he didn't do anything. So I don't know about that one, Chief. They bodied relevant lanterns, by which I mean no name lanterns. Lol. Guy Gardner is a no name lantern. I'll grant you Guy Gardner, but he's like the lamest out of any of the Earth lanterns. If I was going to brag about somebody beating up an OP lantern, I wouldn't put Guy Gardner on that list, okay? Like, if I'm saying, yo, they're greater than all the lanterns because they beat up Guy Gardner once. Guy Gardner is like the idiot of the Earth Lanterns. He's powerful for sure amongst the rest of the Green Lanterns, but there's like a massive gap. There's leagues of fucking skill, talent, and power in between Guy and like John or Kyle. And then there's like 8,000 more leagues in between like Hal and Sinestro, like down the way. So I would not die on that hill. Yo, Todd Howard says, you've seen I've collabed with metas a few times, so I assume you're familiar with JoJo's. Which LCs would the main characters fall into? Ooh, okay. Yo, that's a good question. Actually, if you want to check this out, I have a video for you in my crossover section. I actually made it with JobberGodot a long time ago. It's talking about which characters throughout, which 7 characters throughout all of JoJo's actually get their rings. So if you're really curious to that, definitely check it out. And if you think that my boys over there, a lot of them could all get Green Lantern rings, okay? Like, the statements they have for willpower are just insane. Like, one of the characters literally had so much drive to not die, he just didn't fucking die. Polnareff just refused to die at one point in time, and Boo Karate just kept going. Like, that's some Hal Jordan level shit. So I think a lot of them would be awesome lanterns for sure. Death 13 would probably be Black Lantern. God, I could probably be here all day on that. Definitely check out that video if you want like a full analysis of like the people we think would fit like all the different Lantern Corps. And if one of the homies could link that down in chat, that would be awesome. I can't do that while I'm live streaming for some stupid ass reason because I'm not allowed to use the live chat while I'm streaming. Who thought that was a good idea? Like, that's arguably the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Let's see here. Yeah, basically all JoJo's gonna be black rings. I think most of the JoJo villains, unironically, would be indigos because they're all like sadists, murderers, and lunatics and shit like that. And the Indigo tribe, even though they say they are quote unquote compassion, they're a pretty ruthless group. Their goal is to abduct and take in anyone who's basically a psychopath. And Dio or Diavolo or anyone like that, especially since time alterations or time shenanigans are kind of like not allowed by the Guardians and the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, they're all gonna get hit by pretty much everyone ever. But the Indigos specifically will see the weird shit they're doing and want to collect them for their little weird crew. Good question though. That's a banger, man. Yo, Jobber says we gotta give the Jorno fans their wet dreams to give them GER and give GER White Lantern rings. Hey, yo, then he'd actually be able to do all the shit these people hype on. Yo, big shout out to my boy Metas too. He shared one of my videos recently, and it was sick, dude. I couldn't be more appreciative of him for doing that. I actually worked on the Naruto video that he put out. As a matter of fact, I grabbed all the scans and helped him out with the scaling in it, and it was really fun to do. I hope I can do a little bit more with that guy as time goes on too, because he seems like he's a pretty chill guy. And I'm always down to support another content creator, even if we don't agree on everything. Which is why I don't go out of my way to just like infinitely shit on Comic Curator, right? Like, even though we disagree, at the end of the day, he's another content creator, and he's just trying to make content. So more power to him. At any point in time, as long as we're talking about each other and spreading the word about each other, I mean, essentially, we're all benefiting. Yeah, Guy Gardner sucks, but his good durability, tanking hits from Lobo. Yeah, Post Crisis Guy was a different guy. Okay, the modern day Guy is not the guy from Post Crisis. Whenever Guy was like amped by Sinestro's yellow ring, had Vulgarian physiology and like power suits and shit like stacked on top of his base. Like at one point in time, that version of Guy Gardner, like Superman looked at, and he was like, that guy punches harder than Doomsday, and he's more skilled. So like 90s Guy Gardner was on some shit. Okay, like I'm not hating on 90s Guy Gardner. We're talking like Green Lantern Guy, and like Green Lantern Guy in the modern day is like not running around beating the shit out of Superman anytime soon. Ooh, Todd's giving his own interpretations down here. He says Giorno would be avarice. That's really interesting. I wouldn't think Giorno would be avarice at all. Jolene would be will. I could see that. I feel like a lot of them could. Johnny, yeah, Johnny's literally, I think, who we have as Rage in that video specifically. Josuke would be death. What the fuck? I don't know about that one. That's crazy, man. Yo, future collab. Which Lantern Corps does Godzilla belong to? Feet Majin. Let's go. Yo, if you want to do that, if you want to do the research into that shit, Majin, make a thread and we'll fucking do it. Like, I ain't opposed to that. It'd be curious to hear, because I know we have like 8,000 Godzilla fans in the server. So it would be awesome to see exactly what we could do with that. And it'd be cool to collab with like a bunch of different people on that. Speaking of which, Omni-Lanterns, link in the description if you get the chance. Subscribe to some of the homies, man. A lot of my content, obviously, I do all the research too and stuff, but I still reference other people and stuff who give me their interpretations and point me in the right direction on stuff. Those guys are people I talk to consistently, and we work on stuff all the time. So definitely give them a shot down in the link below. And what are you guys thinking of this stream so far? This is like a casual stream. I actually didn't think anybody'd be hanging out with me for like this whole stream, and I feel like it's been pretty fucking cool. Just chilling with you guys while I work around the place, getting my shit together. What do you think, guys? W stream? W stream so far? Yeah, let's see where we're at. I see mentions over here. Josuke, I called death because he's one of the coldest motherfuckers. Nate. Yeah. So like the reason why I say Josuke probably not is in order to get one of those Black Lantern rings, you have to be like obsessed with death, and you literally have to kill yourself in order to achieve one of those rings and be like a natural Black Lantern. Technically, anybody can be a Black Lantern ring, but those who do it intentionally are far more powerful. Take for example, Black Hand. Let's see. Guy is not that guy. Got it. Guy has his moments, to say the least. That shit when he broke Dr. Manhattan's neck was fucking hilarious. Oh, Todd says he's just chilling while working out. Hell yeah, based. Nice to talk comics without being a cave shaker. Yo, let's actually talk about that, Todd, because I swear to God, dude, there's like this thing, right? Like, obviously, I'm a big like comic book guy, and I'll sit around, I'll talk about comics till like the end of fucking time. All right, but the worst part is you never really know who you're talking to, because they could either be like, if you say you're like into comics and shit, the person you're talking to could just be like the biggest ultra weeb you've ever fucking seen in your life. And it's nice to have a group of people who can sit down and talk comics and shit, who just aren't like full on Weebtown 3000, who's like, I like Superman. His cape is so red. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some comics and shit, but I'm also a grown ass man, all right? Like, I'm not some fucking weeby ass kid who doesn't go outside or some shit. Like, come on now. I feel like for some reason it's so hard to find that healthy medium between the two. You got me why, but I don't know. Comic fans are fucking weebs, bro. It's weird. And I say that as one, unironically. Worst part about any fan base is the fan base. 9 times out of 10. Sad but true, boys. Yo, let's crank up the likes for those who've not liked already. I've got 11 people chilling, only 9 likes. Just saying, we gotta make it happen. Don't forget, if you post that comment down low and it is a super chat, you are guaranteed to have it read. What I am pretty damn excited for is the Mortal Kombat action, bro. Where are my MK fans in the chat? I'm really hoping this new Mortal Kombat is fucking awesome, dude, because I love me some Mortal Kombat. The worst part about being a comics fan is the scale beast, the versus battle wiki people who have poisoned the well. So I actually discussed this a lot on my Discord. There is too many ultra mega comic weebs out there. Okay. And the purpose, I think I was even saying this a little bit earlier, the purpose of scaling is not, it's like it should be a complementary thing to the story. And I think there's too many people who invert that for some reason, where they think the scaling takes precedence over the story. And it's like, but bro, what the fuck are you doing? At a certain point, you're just trying to make a character really powerful for some reason. Why? Like, clearly that's not how the story was designed. That's not how any of this was intended. Like, enjoy the story, and if somebody says something inaccurate about the story, I mean, feel free to defend it. But if your whole career is just scaling shit, I feel like you're losing the value of exactly why the story was good in the first place. Focus on the story and build yourself from there. That's what kind of triggers me, and I'll admit, I had a big transition in my channel a while back. If you check my really old content, the first video I ever posted actually was in reference to scaling shit, because this dipshit was telling me that like Hal Jordan could not fight and defeat Zod, and the context was an example of Hal Jordan beating the shit out of Zod in Rebirth. It was so goddamn funny when that shit was coming out, dude. But yeah, so like, don't lose the forest for one tree. Yeah, worst part of being a comic fan is other people having wrong opinions. Do you have any tips for me starting as a YouTube channel? I want to start, but don't know what to post. Well, the biggest problem, Vincent, let me see what your name was. Vincent's Demise. Yo, Vincent's Demise. Whenever it comes to creating your own content and stuff like that, if you don't know what to post, you're already wrong to start a channel. Okay, you should only be starting a channel if you know what you're getting into and you know exactly like the type of shit you want to produce. That's 99% of having a YouTube channel. I started mine because I invested myself inside like Green Lantern, right? And I heard people shit talking on Green Lantern. So I think even in that Zod vs. How video, I say, like, you've inspired me to make a fucking channel because I don't like misinformation like this going around. The reason why I started my shit is I had a favorite character that I thought people were not giving enough credit. And so my channel was dedicated to proving that. Now I might have expanded that out a little bit to be further, but whatever it is you want to start your channel on, make sure that it is something you are very, very, very passionate about, because the YouTube algorithm and YouTube in general is a ruthless nightmare. Okay. And it's going to take a lot for you to get to any place of relevance. I'm not even relevant, bro. I have 6,000 subscribers. I'm nowhere near a big boy. Okay. But I'd like to get there at some point in time. Just be passionate about something, and eventually good things come over a very long period of time. And make sure you treat it like a business if you do. Because until I started treating it like a business, I'll admit it was just kind of like a whatever. I'm treating it like a business. I put a lot of time and effort into this. And I mean, you're seeing the results. Let's see. Have I ever watched Hunter x Hunter? So, what Lantern Corps would some of the prominent characters fall into? That's a good question. I think Ahsoka would be fear-based, going to be will-based. I think Killa would probably be will-based. Maybe fear-oriented. So there's a few scenes with Killa where I could see an interpretation of that for sure. Yeah, I don't know like a heck a lot of details. So I watched all of the anime for Hunter x Hunter, and I have severe issues with the story of Hunter x Hunter. I think it was very... It sucks because that's unironically my favorite writer of all time whenever it comes to anime. It's the guy who wrote it actually wrote Yu Yu Hakusho as well, and that's arguably the best, if not one of the best anime of all time in my eyes. So I love Yu Yu Hakusho, but Hunter x Hunter didn't hit as hard. I wish the rest of the characters had the same level of exposure that like characters in Yu Yu Hakusho got, because I feel like the focus is almost uniquely on Gon and Killua, and nobody else gets the same level of limelight unless it's in like one arc that immediately was irrelevant afterwards. So it kind of feels bad a little bit in my eyes. But that's just me, man. Can you name a heroic character from anywhere that would be a Black Lantern? Of course. Canonically, that's happened before. If you've ever heard of Roy Harper, who is the Red Arrow, he actually became a Black Lantern in Infinite Frontier. And he genuinely earned his. That shit was like low-key wild. His Black Lantern ring was from another multiverse entirely, too. That shit was crazy. Meruem being love? In the end, for sure. I'd probably see him more as like a will-driven being than a love-driven being, personally, though. For most of the series. In the very end, yes, I would agree. Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, Togashi style. I just wish he would actually finish an arc in a way that mattered. I feel like all the arcs inside Hunter x Hunter, they're really well written, and then we get to the conclusion, and then nothing happens. Like, they kill one irrelevant guy in the villain crew, and then the villain crew just escapes, and we never figure out what happens to them after that. Like, that kind of shit feels really bad to me. Unfortunately, Togashi is getting really old. And him being really old is very unfortunate, because now Hunter x Hunter is probably going to have an experience like Yu Yu Hakusho did, and it just won't get finished because of health reasons. And it'll be a tragedy in the community whenever that happens. He'll either stop writing entirely because they're pushing him to write too much, or genuine health problems will arise and he just will not make it to the point of finishing the series. And in either situation, that is like a calamity for the anime community. Because although not too many people are aware, I am actually a huge anime guy, okay? I watch a fuck ton of anime in general. And I feel like just because I cover DC a lot, people assume that's my only field of expertise. My whole start in scaling, unironically, was on a fucking Naruto, like a Naruto, like scaling website where we would discuss battles and like all sorts of shit way back in the day, like 2011, 2012 or something like that. So yeah, I'm very adept whenever it comes to a lot of different animes. My favorite arc in Yu Yu Hakusho is the Sensui arc, because there is some moral and philosophical implications inside that arc that are just so next generation. You see everything. You see everything in Naruto just get ripped and kind of lightened, and distilled from Yu Yu Hakusho inside Naruto, and it sucks to see that, because the original story for it was just so goddamn good. The whole cycle of hatred shit is nothing in comparison to the shit that Sensui hits Yusuke with, and the concept of humanity being more evil than demons, and stuff like that. Because the worst part is he's not entirely wrong with the how things unfolded with like the chapter Black and how just twisted that universe is, on a foundational level. It's hard to hate the demons when the demons are essentially animals and don't know any better, but the humans aren't animals, and they do know better, and they do shit worse or just as bad as the demons. Well, that got shattered. Let's go! I'm breaking all the stuff, boys. Yeah, you saw it here first. I'm breaking everything. Itachi you get fucking folded if he ever stepped in the goddamn Yu Yu Hakusho. Itachi would take one look at Chapter Black and his fucking mind would explode. That's exactly what would happen. Itachi would be one more victim of Chapter Black, just as Sensui was. I love me some Itachi, but his ass ain't gonna know what the fuck to do after he sees Chapter Black, man. You know, hit me with some more questions, boys. Keep it rolling over here. Feel free to drop a super chat if necessary. What kind of content should I be covering in the near future? It's going to be hard after I make my way all the way to the far lands in which I'm moving to, which is like multiple states away. But I'm curious to see those who are here. Like traditionally, those who are here are like our most dedicated fans, or like my most dedicated fans, I guess, more specifically. What should I be messing with content-wise? I'll tell you guys right now, since y'all the homies and you're hanging out. I've got all sorts of shit planned. I've got a Trigon video I plan on working on if it gets enough sponsorship. I've got a Cosmic Armor Superman video I'd love to do if it gets enough sponsorship. I've got a Mandrake video I like to write because I got to address scripts, and I've even taken a lot of scans for it, but like the editing process is just so fucking massive and so difficult that at the end of the day, the money required for me to do them is kind of what's going to define whether or not I do. Because script writing is easy, but video editing is not. At least to me. I mean, come on, some videos can take up to a year to make. Am I right, Jobber? Let's see here. So DC is my forte. Are you much of a Marvel fan? Okay. I fucking love me some Marvel. Okay. I'm known, once again, I may focus and take scans for DC a fuck ton. I will admit, when it comes to DC, I would argue I'm one of the better figures Whenever it comes to giving a genuine opinion that's non-biased towards like a faction, whenever it comes to their power. Obviously, story is interpretive to every person you talk to that shit about. But like scaling wise, I feel like I'm very genuine in that department. But Marvel, I love their storytelling, dude. I would argue that most of Marvel's storytelling is low key better than a lot of what DC offers whenever it comes to like their individual characters. And mutants, in my opinion, are the prime example of that. I read a ton of X-Men comics, and I'll defend my boys, the X-Men, until the end. Man, I love me some of that shit, dude. I grew up with my dad having a ton of like Hulk, Thor, and X-Men comics just laying around. So I'm pretty well versed on a lot of the shit to do with the majority of that. And dude, I'm telling you, like the Chris Claremont shit from the early '80s through like the like late '80s, I think, to the Dark Phoenix saga was just fucking amazing. Like that shit was goated god tier level content. The X-Men kind of picked back up being really good in my opinion once more, like in the 2000s or so, where we had a bunch of different things happen, including Civil War, that tied into the mutants pretty effectively. Post that, they got really interesting to me, even though they get a lot of hate, and I mean a lot of hate in the 2000 teens era, because you had like Avengers versus X-Men there, Schism, and like a bunch of other runs that just kind of started changing the character and the characters and the lineups, and we started to see Scott Summers go more and more dark and become more and more like Magneto, and it was sick as fuck. Okay, like I love those runs. Ooh, let's see, we got Todd coming back in again. Yo, Kang the Conqueror versus Funny Valentine. All right, so here's the deal. Marvel, I'm not the most adept person whenever it comes to discussing Marvel, but I'd like to consider myself pretty knowledgeable. Everything that Kang does is vastly superior to anything that Funny Valentine does. You have to consider the idea of time and its relationships in both verse, and like the multiverse. Whenever those concepts exist inside, like each verse, is the shit inside JoJo's impressive? Definitely, I would consider, even comparison to most animes, having like multiversal plus level shit is impressive, but the multiverse, the way it's described inside Marvel, is vastly superior. Even time and how it functions is vastly superior to what we see inside JoJo's, the way I understand it. The way at least I understand it. I talked to JobberGodot, who also works hand in hand with like. Actually, he's still chilling in chat. I thought he wasn't here. Who works like hand in hand with Metas all the time. Metas gets some of his research from him, and they kind of help each other out from what I'm aware. Both of them are pretty adept at this stuff. And from my understanding, the cosmology just doesn't necessarily scale correlatively to like to JoJo's. And I would consider Marvel's vastly superior in terms of size and or shape. Like the stuff that they do inside. I would be granting a massive upscale to Funny Valentine in order to make those things effectively work inside Marvel. And I don't know if I can do that without seeing those things. So I would say Kang the Conqueror pretty safely. Not only would he be able to react to anything that Funny Valentine could do, but his machinations and his technology would be capable of identifying the power set of Funny Valentine and actually putting him down. So that would not be surprising to me. The better question would be is, could Funny Valentine even see or even react to Kang the Conqueror? Would be an interesting question to have, to say the least. Funny vs. Kang is one of his most requested matchups, one of your most requested matchups for Death Battle. I definitely see the similarities in terms of character and stuff like that for sure. But, yo, spoiler alert, okay, the next JoJo battle that is going to happen is most likely Giorno versus the Persona main protagonist. What the fuck is his name? Jobber, help me out. Joker. Yeah, Giorno versus Joker is essentially what it's going to be. So, yeah, it is what it is. Yo, Fighting Fefnir says Jason negs the whole JoJo verse. If you include the high end scaling with the Mortal Kombat crossover and the DC logic, yeah, I'd say so. It's some pretty disgusting shit if you give him crossover logic. How can it be vastly superior in shape? Because time and its functions are dramatically different. There are different rules that apply, and the size of time and the beings who operate within it are vastly higher. Like, as a concept, you think time is like a fourth dimensional construct, right? Well, in Marvel, time is something that encompasses an infinite amount of higher spatial dimensions. And it exists beyond those, from what I'm aware. And that would be I think thinking that you can manipulate a time stream that only has three dimensions in it is impressive, but manipulating a time stream that has an infinite amount of dimensions contained within the time, that is a vastly superior feat in my eyes, and does stuff like that consistently, right? So size, whenever I say in reference to that, size to us is length, width, and volume. Whenever it comes to the amount of quote unquote space that exists, those are the three axes we live on, right? So now imagine the idea of time, of space, or not space, length, width, height, and now a fourth axis that is something beyond what we can perceive as normal beings. Okay, so there are different degrees of time and what time can encapsulate. Time that can encapsulate a fourth dimensional structure is superior to one where, like, a time stream that can contain a three-dimensional structure. If a character can prove they can manipulate time that exists over a three-dimensional structure, or even an infinite multiverse of that, that's cool. That's impressive. But I would always consider a time stream that can that exists beyond or around or totally encompassing a fourth dimensional structure as superior. I wouldn't give somebody who's demonstrated manipulating a third dimensional structure the ability to manipulate time over an infinite amount of those. That would be like a no limits fallacy to time manipulation, or reality manipulation, or space manipulation, however you choose to perceive it. Jobber says the internet's going to be on fire when Joker versus Jorno happens on Death Battle, especially if Jorno loses with GER. Sure, you're not wrong. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, probably saying? Yeah, GER is like, I feel like my discussions with Jobber as time has gone on, the problem with GER is that there is a lot of really funny shenanigans going on with the visuals in the anime that deceive people's interpretation of what happened on panel. And yeah, like that's really 90% of what it is. So take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. Like, I don't know. Yeah, what else you guys got for me? Huh? We're running on like an hour and a half. I'm chilling today. It's going pretty goddamn good. How about y'all? How are my people out there? How's the Theromax Corps? And also, thanks, Todd. I think you joined recently after that Metas content, so I really appreciate you coming to hang out with me too, man. A great addition to the Corps, to say the least. This shit has been wild, man. Who would have thought? You know, it's pretty crazy to think that like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought, like, I would have thought like I could actually like take the YouTube stuff like seriously, come on, hang out with you guys, turn on my phone, start a stream, and just start chilling. Like, that idea is just absolutely mad to me because, like, yo, since y'all here, I'm about to make my Discord down the way public, and that's gonna be a crazy ass experience. Okay, but if you guys are enjoying this kind of live streaming and stuff, this is just basically what I do 24/7 on my Discord. We're always hanging out in there and just doing nothing but discussing comic books, anime, manga. It doesn't fucking matter. And it's a really cool, chill place, and we look forward to maintaining that whenever it does go public. But like, this to me is fun. This to me is life. Just sitting around talking about shit like this. If I could do this 100% and not have to have a job, dude, you guys don't even know how much content I would make for you. This shit would be fucking crazy. Yo, what are some of the most requested matchups for Death Battle? One of my most requested matchups. So I gave up hope on Death Battle many moons ago. Okay. My biggest issue with Death Battle is their inability to engage with reality. Like, I don't know. So I recently made a video called Source Wall Emanation Theory, and it discusses a short amount of time where I encountered a Death Battle scaler, a guy who like actually gives information to Death Battle itself. And any of my OG Theromax Corps members, all of them know the story because I tell this shit all the time. And these guys are like on a whole different level. I thought like maybe I would be capable of, right? Because I'm an open-minded person. If you present me enough, I'll change my opinion. I think that anybody should be that way. The only real option that makes sense is that not everyone is that way. As I've come to discover, just really fucking stuck in their way. I mean, look at those GER fans we just mentioned, bro. Holy shit. And the tragedy is that as I sat down with this guy and I gave him every single thing that should have been like really basic and easy to understand, I began to recognize that this guy's purpose wasn't necessarily to actually facilitate anything genuine. His goal was just to create a cool matchup. He didn't care about the scaling or engaging with arguments about scaling or anything like that. And so it kind of ruined me on Death Battle. But what I will say is their animations are fucking gas. I love their animations. And if I was to do one, it'd be really cool to do like Hal Jordan versus Nova, just because it's a really popular one. And I think it'd be really cool to get just an animation of that shit happening. The Ben 10 versus Alien X has already been done, and it received a lot of fucking hate as a result of the conclusion, which was pretty silly in terms of how they had it end, although I agree with the conclusion. But Nova would be somebody who's actually on a level to engage with them, and I think that would be interesting to say the least. Other matchups I would be looking forward to, man. That's a good one, dude. Yeah, I honestly don't know on that one, man. That's tough. I'd have to think about that pretty hard. You say Cad Bane versus Stranger, Baki Hama versus Luther Strode. Yo, Baki versus Strode would be pretty fucking gas. From what I'm aware of, Strode would probably fucking maul him, but I don't know. I'm not too dead set on either one of those because I haven't invested into them like 10 out of 10. Yo, actually, you know what? I take it back. Here's one that I would do, and here's one they would never do for a reason, okay? Because the amount of salt and triggering that would happen would be fucking beyond the ability for normal mortals to perceive, okay? Dr. Manhattan versus the Beyonder. That shit would be gas, okay? If we could get a Dr. Manhattan versus Beyonder fucking video, dude, I can't even imagine what that fight would be like. It'd be so cool the way the animation would function, dude. That shit would be genuinely next gen in my eyes. It would also be really cool to see like Yusuke Urameshi versus like Kenpachi. I think that shit would be fucking badass. They're both just really down to earth, gruff fucking people who don't budge, don't negotiate, and just go fucking insane. That shit would be gas as fuck. All of those are just like anime. Oh, okay. I'm glad we cleared that up. Probably saying, yo, Amanda Waller Suicide Squad. Let's see here. All sorts of stuff. I think that I come up with questions of the day every day, or at least I try to every day. And one of the questions I had, and this is something I want everyone in chat to consider: if Amanda Waller was displaced inside Marvel, but she still had the same job, just with the Marvel government, who would she drag into her Suicide Squad? And what do you think she could do, especially with the intent to destroy the Brotherhood of Mutants? Because the United States government and Marvel just hates mutants, and they're always trying to eliminate them. That shit would be pretty lit. That's all I'm gonna say. Tell me what squad you'd put together down low. Your Master Chief versus Commander Shepard would be pretty lit, but Commander Shepard beat the dog shit out of Master Chief, unfortunately. Commander Shepard has all sorts of abilities that he can use at his disposal, and they are very advanced in terms of technology. Not to mention, if you give him biotics, we've already seen how people who have telekinesis and very strong powers like that just fucking dog wipe the fucking floor with Master Chief. And the newest game, the forgettable villain just shits all over him. And even the like 2 games ago, another dude, an old not Promethean, an old oh my gosh, an old Forerunner, one of their warlords just dumps all over Master Chief with telekinesis. Yo, Casual says we need some Record of Ragnarok content. Fucking A, man, dude. Record of Ragnarok is one of those miniseries that came out that is just blowing up the internet for good reason, man. It's an interesting idea, and the fights are fucking amazing, as well as the backstories are just so 10 out of 10. Gas, like, would heavily recommend it. Adam versus Garu. That's a good question. I think both actually produce similar things, and so I think I I could be wrong, but I think by the time that Garu pulls out the big shit, I like typically it's faster, especially against opponents that he can't just like immediately like shit on. And I don't know if he's gonna push Adam to the limit before he loses his sight. It's possible, but I think by the time he does, he'll be put down. That's just me, though. I'll admit that fight that he did with, oh my fucking god, the drunk guy in the dark tournament. That shit would be gas, dude. That shit would be a fucking banger. Holy fuck. Yeah, Warp and Singularity from Commander Shepard, ridiculously strong abilities from Rock and Alice. Especially if you look into what it is, like the barriers and shields inside Mass Effect are just so next gen because they can. It's basically just reality warping. Like warp is like it's fucking crazy. Yeah, I think like a better matchup would be like Commander Shepard versus Revan. I think that would be. I think we're a little bit on the kind of a closer side at that point in time. I think Revan is probably edge out, but I really feel like that would be a fucking banger ass matchup. I've always said that though, especially from like a squad perspective, because both of them are from the same developer. Both have like really interesting squad mates, and your relationship with those squads are all very important. So I think doing like those two factions against one another would be really fucking cool. Maybe a few less Jedi. I don't know. I can't really say that because, like, fuck, you got to. That's a fucked up thing about Mass Effect, dude. Is it doesn't really matter what you are. You're basically a fucking wizard, dude. Even if you're a soldier, you've got fucking like an entire arsenal you can throw at people outside of just your fucking gun. If you're a biotic, you've got all sorts of weird like science magic you can do. And if you're a fucking engineer, dude, you could do also. You're basically still a magician. You can free shit. You can throw fucking fire at people. Like the science in that is so close to magic. The line is almost fucking blurred in my eyes. Yo, Todd says for his Marvel Suicide Squad, he would include Mysterio, Taskmaster, Puppet Master, Bullseye, Absorbing Man, and Hyperion. Base. That's a good ass list. The Taskmaster and Bullseye consistently show up in these lists, and I agree 10 out of 10. He's one of those dipshits who always gets captured and would definitely wind up inside the Suicide Squad at some point in time. Would not surprise me whatsoever. And Amanda Waller would be all about that shit because he's just a normal human. She can put a fucking bomb in his head, and she will not care if he fucking dies. Well, all right, boys. It's been a blast hanging out. We're going on like an hour and 45 minutes or so. So I'm actually going to pop off here. This was a banger ass stream. If I wasn't so fucking busy doing the shit I was doing, I'd hang out a little bit longer. But like, I'm not even kidding, man. I've got so much to fucking do over here. But I've been a little bit missing from the channel, and I wanted to hang out and just talk about some shit with you guys because Believe it or not, I enjoy doing this kind of content about 8,000 times more than I do like the normal like videos and stuff like that. That shit to me is nowhere near as interesting as sitting around hanging out with you guys, talking about stuff and just answering questions, because it's really fun to me to do this stuff. But that being said, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for all the donations. You guys are fucking awesome, and I can't wait to be delivering you guys more content as time goes on. So definitely hit the like and notification bell up top, and make sure that you come hang out for some more streams, because this shit only gets better. And be looking out for that Discord drop. Just wait. It's gonna be a mad world, boys. All right, later, lanterns.